Have you ever felt that, despite doing everything right, something inside you feels out of place? Maybe you wake up every day, follow your routine, go to work, pay your bills, but deep down, you feel a sense of emptiness. Or perhaps you have that uncomfortable feeling of living on autopilot, as if you're just following a script someone else wrote for you. And worst of all, maybe you think you're the only one who feels this way, trapped in a life that seems normal but doesn't bring true satisfaction. Now imagine this. Millions of people around the world are exactly where you are right now. They also feel this disconnect, this silent weight of following rules that seem right but don't bring meaning to their lives. This happens because we're immersed in a system that teaches us to value the external, money, status, appearance, instead of prioritizing what truly matters, our essence, our dreams, and our inner happiness. Know this, it has a name. And most importantly, you're not alone. This feeling of disconnection, of being stuck in patterns that seem right for others but wrong for you, can be explained by something called Normosis. Today, we'll explore what it is, how it happens, and, most importantly, what we can do to change this reality. The word normosis comes from the combination of two terms, normal and disease. It was coined by the French psychotherapist Pierre Weil in the 1980s to describe a peculiar condition. The idea that what we consider normal in society can, in fact, be deeply harmful to our mental and emotional health. In other words, normosis is when we accept without questioning the rules, expectations, and pressures that society imposes, even when they don't make sense for us. But here's an important detail. Normosis isn't about living an explicitly bad or unhappy life. On the contrary, many people living in normosis have seemingly perfect lives. They have stable jobs, families, material possessions, and even social recognition. However, behind this facade of success lies a deep void. It's as if we're building beautiful houses but forgetting to put furniture inside them. The structure is there, but the soul is missing. And why does this happen? Because normosis teaches us that happiness and fulfillment come from achieving external goals, having money, status, approval from others. But these things by themselves aren't enough to fill our inner selves. Our society highly values material success and recognition, but it rarely encourages us to look inward and ask, what truly makes me happy? Another crucial point is that normosis doesn't just affect isolated individuals, it permeates the entire social structure. From a young age, we're conditioned to follow predetermined paths, study, work, marry, have children, grow old. These milestones may be important for some people, but for others they represent an invisible prison. The problem is that over time, we start confusing these external expectations with our own ambitions. And when we realize it, we're already so far from who we truly are that it becomes difficult to return. But here's something to reflect on. Do we really need to keep wearing this mask? Do we need to keep molding ourselves to standards that don't represent us? The answer is no. There are ways to break this cycle and start living in alignment with who we truly are. So, what can we do to escape this trap? The good news is that there are ways to break this cycle and begin living in harmony with our true selves. Here are some practical suggestions. First, start questioning your choices. Ask yourself, am I doing this because it's important to me or because it's expected of me? This simple exercise can help you identify areas of your life where you might be acting out of obligation rather than passion. Sometimes the difference between living in normosis and living fully lies in small daily decisions. Second, invest in self-knowledge. Practices like meditation, therapy, reflective writing, or even deep conversations with trusted people can help you better understand your values, desires, and emotions. Connecting with yourself is the first step toward creating a more authentic life. Remember, the more you know who you are, the easier it will be to make decisions that reflect your true essence. Third, allow yourself to try new things. Often we get stuck in routines because they're comfortable, even if they're unfulfilling. Step out of your comfort zone. Travel, learn a new skill, explore different hobbies. All of this can help you rediscover what truly brings you joy, and don't worry if you fail or feel lost in the process. After all, discovering who you are is a journey, not a final destination. Finally, remember that you don't need to change everything at once. Small, consistent actions have more impact than sudden, dramatic revolutions. Start slowly, adjusting one area of your life at a time. Maybe it's trading a few extra hours of work for quality time with your family. Maybe it's dedicating more time to activities that bring you genuine happiness. Every small change counts. It's important to remember that living in Normosis isn't your fault. No one is born knowing how to escape external pressures or navigate a world that constantly tells us what we should be. But the fact that you're here, watching this video, is already a sign that you're ready to take the first step toward a fuller, more meaningful life. This isn't about completely abandoning society or rejecting all conventions. It's about finding a balance between what the world expects of you and what you truly desire for yourself. And this is possible. Here's one last reflection. Transformation doesn't need to be perfect. You don't need to have all the answers right now. What's important is to start. Taking a step, even a small one, is already an act of courage. And every step you take toward your true essence is a step toward a lighter, more meaningful life. So, I invite you to reflect. What can you do today, even if it's something small, to reconnect with who you truly are? How can you begin transforming your life in a way that makes sense for you and not just for others? Remember, you deserve to live not just a normal life, but an extraordinary one, by your own standards. And if you feel this journey might be difficult, know that you don't have to face it alone. Seek support from friends, family, or professionals. Sharing your doubts and discoveries can be a big step toward freeing yourself from Normosis. In the end, life is too short to be lived on autopilot. So, what's the next step you're going to take to make it truly yours?